One of the messages that we've been getting from this full moon is emotional resilience. And since it is about practical responsibility, balance of practical responsibility with emotional intelligence, all the more why we are to see that this emotional resilience is needed. And especially as we can see, the sacral is really taking the lead. And because it is the emotional body, there's so many things happening in the uptick of emotion. So resilience is what is needed. And emotional resilience is emotional strength. And it's not the resilience that we always think of, is the way that the message was coming to me while we were discussing it. It was more of having the resilience in you, having the strength in you to do something different. That even though you see what you see or you're experiencing what you're experiencing, is not to have the strength to get through it. It's having the strength to see where you can change your concepts about it. Are you strong enough? Do you have resilience enough to shift and change the scope and change the view in order to change your perspective of how you're seeing it, to then be able to elevate and evolve you so that you are breaking barriers rather than just barely getting by and coping with it and saying, well, I got resilience because I did good coping skills or I managed well. But it is to be resilient enough, strong enough to catch yourself, to have the courage to catch yourself and face the things that are honestly coming up inside of you. And then do you have the resilience to make the necessary changes? And so this emotional resilience is what's going to help us in this light code integration that we're getting, because so much is happening as the light codes are streaming through. And we have to see where it is affecting our nervous system, because the nervous system is calibrating, and the nervous system is what has to hold all of this. And the light codes that are coming through that are operating in a way that it is like pushing through, touching some sensitive points, or it's really wherever we have resistance, just like the earth, what we're seeing with the earthquakes, wherever there is any resistance energetically that have been left behind in an energetic imprint. So even the imprint in your transcript of your soul, in your DNA, that holds layers of ancient codes and layers of infusion with your family line and your ancestral lineage and things like that. There is so much that is there that needs to be addressed. And so as the light codes come in, they awaken dormant codes, but then these issues, these unresolved issues that are still there, are needing to be addressed. And so the nervous system is already like, shot in a way. It's already in shock and shot. So the resilience is, it's, as I was saying in our group, it depends on how our translator is, because that's what the nervous system is. It is the middleman. It is the middleman of information between the mind body complex, and very physically so, and also energetically, right? And that's what the energy centers are. It's like what the nervous system is physically, literally to the body, is what the energy centers are literally to our consciousness, to our conscious mind. And so this is that there's a translation, there's a communication happening between the two. And the way the translation is done is according to and determined by, well, according to the wounds that are already there. It's the translation goes by the interpretation, and we are the interpreters. So whatever wounds we have been holding, it is filtered through our interpretation, then gone through the translation. And a lot of things get lost in translation when we have, let's say, filtered interpretation. that is covered, shielded, blocked, misconstrued, all kind of things that are based on wounds from childhood, whether it is aware or not, whether it's known or unknown, in this lifetime as well as past lives. All of that is incorporated and infused and interjected into our DNA mechanism makeup, that all of that connects to our nervous system. So, and all of these are about feeling sensations. You may be saying, well, what does that have to do with the emotional, resilience? And because the nervous system has to do with what you feel, right? The nerves are everything. It's not just the nerves literally on your body that you feel went to the touch of your skin. It is nerves that are calibrating information that in your mental, emotional body affects your nerves. That's why we say you get on my nerves, because it's true. Something is happening that is really getting on and in the nerves. So everything that happens has to be somehow calibrated through what is translated through the interpretation of our nervous system. So we have to have emotional resilience, because it's all about what you feel. Every information that we get is through a feeling, through a sensory of a sensation. And this is why I say the sensations of information. So what we're doing now during this light code streaming, during these cosmic shifts in time, is to be mindful and aware of the vibrations and the sensations of informations as it moves through the dimensions in our minds through interpretations. All right, so the resilience is in you. The emotional resilience is where you can be strong enough to see what these are, sift it out, find it, and then make the necessary changes to help the nervous system adjust, breathe, expand, exhale, rather than contract out of any fears. So those are, a little bit of tidbit on what's happening with the sensations. Ashe? Peace, love, and light. Have emotional resilience every time so that your soul can take flight.